Every mansion has its secrets. But inside Kody and Robyn Brown's new Flagstaff mansion, one secret is echoing through the empty halls. A single phrase, "a guest room kinda for truly," set off a storm no one saw coming. Fans called it disrespectful, cold, even strategic. Was this a father's innocent comment, or a quiet admission that his daughter no longer belonged? Tonight, we uncover how one room or the lack of it became the symbol of love, lost, control, and the slow collapse of a family empire.
It's very, very masculine looking.
Part 1.
It's a bunch of
To understand the fury, we need to rewind. Once, Kody Brown stood before the world, preaching plural love, 4 wives, 1 big family, and endless promises of equality. But years later, after the cracks deepened, only Robyn remained. Christine left. Janelle left. Meri drifted away. And at the center of this broken empire stood one child, truly, Christine's youngest daughter. For truly, every goodbye meant losing not just a father, but the idea of home itself. When Kody and Robyn unveiled their new mansion, fans expected opulence. What they didn't expect was omission. We even have a guest room kinda for truly when she comes to visit. 1 line, 1 word, guest, and the internet erupted. Because for millions of viewers, that single word meant betrayal. Fans flooded social media, calling it a disrespectful, cold, and proof that truly was never part of their vision. A guest room? She's his daughter, not a weekend visitor. Meanwhile, Robyn's kids have custom bedrooms. Priorities much? Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForTruly and #SisterWivesHypocrisy trended across TikTok. For many women, mothers, daughters, sisters, it hit deeper than TV drama. It was the echo of every child made to feel like a visitor in their own parents' home. But beneath the outrage, some fans began to whisper, maybe it wasn't neglect, maybe it was strategy. Legal experts and devoted sleuths started analyzing every word. Could the guest room for truly be a legal maneuver, a custody tactic disguised as hospitality? In custody disputes, having a dedicated space, even a symbolic one, can demonstrate readiness for visitation rights. In other words, the guest room might not have been built for comfort. It was built for court. Was Kody's mansion designed to win hearts or paperwork? Christine, now happily remarried, built a world around love and stability. Meanwhile, the Browns' new estate became a symbol of emotional distance. Christine's house feels like home. Robyn's mansion feels like a fortress. And then came the twist. Leaked property details revealed that Truly's so-called guest room was also listed in real estate records as a storage space. So was Truly's room ever real? Or just convenient fiction? For fans, this was the final straw. The guest room wasn't just a room. It was a metaphor for Kody's broken fatherhood. In the aftermath, fans didn't stay silent. YouTube creators, podcast hosts, and TikTok commentators turned the guest room scandal into a cultural conversation. It's not about bedrooms, it's about belonging. Every child deserves to feel they have a home, not a borrowed space. Christine's supporters rallied online. praising her for choosing peace and prioritizing Truly's emotional health. And somewhere in the quiet corners of Flagstaff, that guest room stands perfectly made, yet rarely used. A monument to what's left unsaid between a father and his daughter. Because sometimes the emptiest rooms hold the loudest echoes. What do you think? Was it a legal tactic? Or the final sign that Kody has lost touch with what family truly means? If you believe Truly deserved better, hit like. It helped more fans see the truth. Part 2. It began as a love story, unlike any other 4 wives, 1 husband, and the promise that every child would be equally loved. But over the years, that promise shattered. Christine left first, choosing peace over pain. Janelle followed. Meri distanced, and when the dust settled, only Robyn remained. For Kody, rebuilding meant creating something new. A mansion, a symbol of survival. But symbols have shadows. And that shadow came in the shape of one little girl's missing room. When the couple unveiled their new home, fans gasped. It was grand, expensive, everything Kody and Robyn had dreamed of. And this is kinda the guest room kinda for Truly when she visits. Kinda for Truly. For a father of 18 children, those words hit like a thunderclap. Viewers didn't just hear indifference, they heard exclusion. Was it a slip of the tongue? Or a confession of priorities? Social media ignited overnight. Fans called it disrespectful, cold, and painfully symbolic. A guest room? She's his child, not a house guest. Robyn's kids get custom rooms while Truly gets an asterisk. Hashtags like #justice for Truly and #sisterwivesfail trended for days. For mothers watching across America, it wasn't just about TV. It was about every child who's ever felt unwanted. But hidden beneath the tears and tweets was a theory, darker than anyone imagined. Some fans noticed something odd. The way Robyn phrased it, kinda for Truly, sounded almost scripted. And that's when the speculation began. In family law, showing that a parent has a space ready for a child, even if rarely used, can influence visitation or custody optics. It's symbolic compliance. In other words, that guest room could be less about comfort and more about court. A legal prop in a domestic drama, a space designed not for a child, but for an argument. Was this room a home or a loophole? As fans dug deeper, real estate listings for the property surfaced. Hidden in the details was something that flipped the story upside down. The guest room wasn't just for guests, it was registered as a storage space, meaning Truly's supposed room wasn't even legally classified as a bedroom. For fans, this was the moment the illusion collapsed. The room didn't exist, at least, not in the way they'd been told. A storage closet for his daughter, that says everything. The symbolism hit hard. The daughter who once dreamed of family unity, reduced to a checkbox in a floor plan. And the internet decided this wasn't a mansion. It was a monument to favoritism. In the weeks that followed, Sister Wives fans turned their heartbreak into action. YouTubers, podcasts, and commentators dissected every square foot of the mansion, searching for the truth. It's not just about one room. It's about a father choosing optics over empathy. Christine, meanwhile, moved forward. A new marriage, a stable home, a daughter who feels safe, not symbolic. And somewhere in that Flagstaff mansion, a perfectly staged room remains untouched, a silent reminder that love can't be filed under a guest. Because in the end, the biggest room in any home is the one where someone feels they belong. What do you think was the guest room a legal move? Or proof Kody's heart has already left fatherhood behind? Tell us in the comments below, we read every one. Hit like if you believe Truly deserves her own space. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. It began as an American experiment in love, sister wives, the story of one man, 4 women, and a shared dream of faith, freedom, and equality. For over a decade, viewers followed the Browns' unconventional path. They promised fairness, every wife, every child, an equal piece of the family. Christine's daughter, Truly, was born into that dream, bright, gentle, and loved by millions of fans who watched her grow up on screen. But as the family fractured, so did the promise. Christine walked away, Janelle followed, and Meri drifted quietly into isolation. What remained was not a family, but a brand. And inside that brand, one little girl became a symbol of everything that was lost. In late 2024, Kody and Robyn proudly revealed their Flagstaff mansion, a massive estate with custom rooms for each of Robyn's children. This room's for Aurora, this is Brianna's, and this is kinda the guest room for Truly when she visits. That moment lasted seconds, but the impact was explosive. The internet froze. Kinda for Truly? Viewers replayed it over and over. Some thought it was a mistake. Others called it the most revealing sentence in Sister Wives history. Because in that single phrase, Kody's entire parenting legacy seemed to collapse. Fans flooded Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook groups, calling the comment disrespectful and heartbreaking. A guest room? She's his daughter, not a visitor. Robyn's kids get themed bedrooms, while Truly gets an afterthought. That's not love, that's optics. For mothers watching across America, it struck a nerve. The idea that a child could be loved by cameras, but forgotten by her father. That guest room line tells us everything about Kody's priorities. Robyn's family is the new real family. Everyone else is PR. It wasn't just anger, it was grief. Fans had invested 14 years into believing this family could coexist in love. But what they saw now felt like a courtroom statement, not a father's home. And that's when fans started asking, was this about feelings or legal filings? According to family law experts, showing that a parent has space for a child, even symbolically, can strengthen visitation optics. Courts look at a parent's ability to provide a stable, welcoming environment. Having a room even unused can look like preparation and commitment. So when Robyn said, kinda for Truly, it raised questions. Was this an emotional misstep or a legal checkbox? If that room was built for Truly, why call it kinda? It sounds like they just wanted it on record for the custody narrative. Within days, TikTok theories exploded, blueprints, property listings, even interior photos surfaced. And one discovery shocked everyone. Because Truly's so-called bedroom wasn't even labeled as one. Fans obtained the property's official layout, In the plans, the supposed guest room was listed not as a bedroom, but as storage. A storage space, not a child's room, not a place of comfort or belonging. He literally gave her a storage closet and called it a guest room. The outrage turned into heartbreak. The mansion that was supposed to symbolize success now stood as proof of emotional distance. Meanwhile, Christine was building something different, not a mansion, but a home. A space filled with laughter, love, and belonging. For fans, the contrast was impossible to ignore. Because while Kody built walls, Christine built peace. In the months that followed, the mansion controversy became more than a meme. It became a mirror. A reflection of what happens when love turns into logistics. Christine's independence and her new life resonated with millions of women. Women who had been told to stay quiet, stay loyal, and settle for less. Christine choosing herself gave so many of us courage. Truly will grow up knowing what love should look like. For Kody and Robyn, the mansion remains beautiful, silent, and empty in places that matter most. The guest room still stands. Perfectly decorated, yet rarely used. Because in every family, there's a room for truth. And no matter how many doors you close, love finds a way to be heard. The mansion controversy didn't begin in that living room. It began years earlier in the shadows of Coyote Pass. Back then, Kody promised each wife her own home on the property, equal space, equal love. But paperwork stalled, blueprints shifted, and trust disappeared. For Christine, every unkept promise became a warning sign. When the pandemic hit, separation wasn't just emotional, it was physical. Kody spent most of his time at Robyn's house. Weeks turned into months, and truly began asking why her dad wasn't around. The dream of shared land faded, replaced by a mansion with walls too thick for love to echo. The internet became the courtroom of public opinion. Fans started comparing paint colors, hallway decor, even window placement. That guest room wall art? Same frame Robyn used in her old Vegas house. It's not new. It's repurposed. Every screenshot became an exhibit. Some claim the room was only staged once for filming untouched afterward. Within 48 hours, #Truly's room had over 3 million views on TikTok. Fan detectives mapped floor plans, proving that the so-called guest room shared ventilation with the storage hall. Was this investigation overkill, or the fandom's way of protecting a child they'd watched grow up? To understand why this mattered, we spoke with 2 family law experts. If a parent shows a dedicated room, it demonstrates capacity for overnight visitation. Even if the child rarely stays there, the optics matter in custody evaluations. But emotional neglect can't be hidden behind decor. Courts notice the intent, not the paint color. Similar tactics have appeared in other celebrity custody cases, from Hollywood to reality TV. A picture-perfect space becomes evidence. A photograph becomes proof of parenting. So when Robyn said kinda for truly, was she being honest or legally cautious? While the mansion rose in Flagstaff, Christine was building something entirely different. Not marble floors, but a foundation of self-respect. She didn't just leave a marriage, she left a pattern. For women watching, it felt revolutionary. Christine showed us that you can walk away without bitterness, just boundaries. Her new life became the emotional mirror to Kody's new mansion love rebuilt on laughter instead of leverage. And as Christine's world expanded, Kody's grew quieter, echoing through one unused room. By the time the credits rolled, the conversation had grown beyond one family. It became a symbol of mothers reclaiming strength, of children deserving space, of fans demanding truth. We're not mad, we're heartbroken. Truly's story reminded me of my own divorce. That empty room taught us what love should never sound like. More than 12 million people watched the clip within a week. The outrage faded, but the dialogue remained. What does family mean when the cameras stop? Because sometimes the smallest room reveals the biggest truth. What do you think? Was it carelessness or strategy? Should Truly have had her own space? Or was this just reality TV spun too far? Drop your thoughts below. We feature top comments in our next video. Hit like if you believe every child deserves more than a guest room. Subscribe to Reality Unraveled for our next deep dive. Robyn's secret room. Was it built for cameras, not kids? Reality Unraveled, where every headline hides a heartbreak. Was it built for cameras, not kids? Reality Unraveled, where every headline hides a heartbreak.